History repeats itself. It fails to die. You are now tuned into But What Is Life podcast, the ride to relax, relate, and release into reality where things get fun, real, and the advice is unsolicited. What's up? It's your girl Ani, and I'm back to relax, relate, and release into yet another episode of But What Is Life. How y'all doing today? I hope y'all doing great. This episode that I wanted to do for this week was actually a temperature check. I basically made the decision that I was going to do something a little different this week, just because the prior weeks to today I have been having all sorts of technical difficulties when it comes to recording a new episode for a new week. But with all of that, I did not allow myself to dwell on the current state, and I was determined to push through no matter what happened because of what different elements or things going on around me, right? And I can honestly say I'm very proud of myself that with all the difficulties, hold the fuck on. I don't even have no damn lip gloss on. Hold that thought. Honey, I just felt these lips crackling. Well, not crackling. My lips just rubbed together, and I was like, "Ooh, honey, no, with no lip gloss on, honey. You need to moisturize them lips, sis." The hell? This ain't the Krusty Krab. Okay. Okay. Now that you got that together, we can continue. But I'm proud of myself because I did not allow the things that were going on around me and the hiccups in the road to deter me from my goal, which was to stay consistent, stay confident no matter what happens. And I have been doing that. We pushing the gas. You know what I'm saying? I like the idea that I can go back and listen to episodes in the first season and realize just how much I have changed just within the last couple of months. Not so much me changing, just my opinion or ideas about certain things. Like it's absolutely like miraculously crazy. Not only is this a safe space for me, my guests, and you all, whoever is watching and listening, to relax, relate, and release into different things that just go on from day to day, but it's also a way for me to monitor where I am and what's going on with me, for me to look back on, because I also journal. I'm not necessarily consistent with journaling though, but I have been being more consistent with journaling on from the aspect of just different confirmations or signs that I get from God, and I just jot that down. Because before, when I was trying to cultivate a routine, a daily routine for myself, I told myself that I was just going to journal and talk about whatever happened in that day. it got to the point where I was realizing my days are pretty much the same. I'm, of course, different things or different things take place, or I'm dealing with different aspects of my life from day to day. But it just, I don't know, it wasn't motivating enough, I guess I could say. Because I'm already very in tune with making sure that I'm in the present moment. So I don't know. I don't know. It just wasn't hitting like it's hitting now, where I find myself journaling more, just jotting down confirmations or signs that I get from God to just keep pushing and doing what I'm doing, which is the perfect segue into what we talking about here on today for Ani's temperature check. So, where I am is honing in on my intuition, my spirit guides, all that, being aligned with everything and making sure that I'm paying close attention to what I'm being advised of, what I'm being led to, what I'm being led through, and overall being present in all of that, and understanding exactly what these different components of what my life consists of today means. My whole point of this episode is to have some type of dialogue with whoever is watching this. I just recently had a conversation with Ultraviolet. Hey girl. I just recently had a conversation with her, and it was very affirming for me, and it confirmed a lot. But I wanted to do today's episode to really get a feel for how y'all view things when it comes to not religion but spirituality. Like, do you have some type of spirituality about yourself, or do you follow a certain guide? No matter if you look at it as religion, spirituality, the universe, whatever. I feel my thing is with God, how I feel is there's a God. Of course, we have the universe where we are all coexisting. That was a creation of God Himself. Within the universe, we have all of these energies, along with the energy that we put out, us over here. So we have God, the universe, us over here. We put all that together and we cultivate what the fuck we see every day. That is what my belief is. When I say God, that is not at all in the religious sense. I don't follow any type of religion because of my own personal preferences, and I'm not gonna get on here and be disrespectful or insensitive to anybody else who follows a religion. So we just gonna leave it at that. But like I said, me just putting everything together as far as what I believe. I understand. I want to say overstand, but I don't think I overstand yet, because if I overstood, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But I understand that everything happens for a reason, right? And it's just like school. You got to go through the necessary steps, protocols, whatever, to move from one grade to the next in order to graduate, right? So I apply the same thing to my spiritual journey as well. There are certain things that I have to do on this level that I'm on right now in order for me to evolve and move to the next level. So, like I have said in the previous season, I have been on a journey for the last 3 years where I have been practicing positivity. I have been practicing being a better version of myself every single day. Like, that has been my Bible in a sense. It is whenever I'm feeling down about something, instead of me harping on that or dwelling in the negative space of, something that is not necessarily favorable to me, I have decided to practice being proactive about always seeing the silver lining in things, where it bleeds over into my friendships when I'm having conversations with my friends, and I notice that they're being negative about a situation or whatever, and I basically practice what I preach by helping them to see the way that I'm going about things. Not necessarily to tell them to do what I'm doing, but to help them feel better about situations. Because if I'm being completely honest, if it is something that is unfavorable going on in your life, and when you dwell on the paranoia or the negativities about said situation, it could just make everything around you just become dark, right? But what a lot of people have a hard time doing is focusing on the positive, because we all know that negativity sells. It sells more than positivity ever will, even though positivity makes you feel a whole lot better. So, in the current state, I am in a place where I have done things. I have done the work on myself. I have been practicing things. I've been proactive. I have been, working on my consistency, my discipline, my confidence, all that, right? I have been working on all of that to the point where I really feel good about where I am on today. Like, every time I do my gratitude walks, I thank God for where I am today, just because only just a short 4.5, almost 5 years ago, this baby was not who she is today. Okay. And I actually had an episode in July where God purposely put me in a place where I was living my current reality, but I was living in the past as well. Like, I felt like I was my past self living in my reality. And when I say it was crazy as hell, it was crazy as hell, because I was literally like, my past self was very negative, not optimistic at all, very pessimistic. Always, we all know we are our own worst critics, but I was beyond that. Like, I didn't have confidence in myself. I didn't believe that I could do things. Even when I would actually do something, I would always make myself feel smaller than what I really was. Example, when I literally uprooted my entire life and moved away from home, I just saw it as, okay, I said I was going to do it. I did it. Okay, we on to the next thing. First 2 years, I had people constantly reminding me, like, sis, what you did is commendable. It takes courage. Like, a lot of people can't even fathom doing what you did. Even to this day, I have reminders of that, like, where A friend of mine told me that I inspired her just within what I did for myself, for her to keep going for herself. And it's that right there is like it's huge. It really is huge, because once upon a time I would tell myself like, girl, okay, you did that, but it's really not that big of a deal. Like, you didn't really accomplish much. I was really selling myself short when I did something huge, and I'm still keeping at it. Like, I have not been deterred in any way as far as the decision that I made, as far as uprooting my life and taking myself out of life as I knew it and creating life in a new environment with new people, with a clean slate, all of that, right? So I say all of that to say, in July, I was being my old self, but in my current reality. And I was telling myself things like, oh, you've been faking it these last 3 years. Like, you ain't really been doing this. You ain't been doing the work. This, that, and the third. Because for me, it was like, on the outside looking in, they can't see it. So it didn't feel like I was doing much. I felt inadequate and unworthy, right? And me saying all of that, like, once I allowed myself to sit in that, right, and allowed myself to naturally come out of it. So with me allowing myself to do that, when I came out of that, I realized that God was basically telling me, I need you to see exactly everything that you have done within these last 3 years, right? More importantly, just this year alone, the work that I have done on myself. I know he was telling me that I needed you to see everything that you have done and not be so worried about what it looks like on the outside, because at the end of the day, I didn't give the outside the vision that I gave you. So it's not going to make sense to this person over here. First of all, sis, that's not what we doing. I can't control. Girl, you sound stupid. Now I understand. Now I understand when my baby daddy used to tell me all the time, like, stop calling me and trying to talk to me while you crying. I can't understand you. That is so funny. But this is real emotion, raw emotion, first of all. Because when I say I am so in tune and aligned with everything, like, it just be hitting different. So anyway, God wanted me to understand exactly all the work that I've done and where I was before to where I am now, because it was going to be imperative for me to understand that in order to move on to the next level, right? I'm currently in a transitioning phase where I am literally shifting, and I can literally feel it. I'm literally shifting from the level that I was here to the level that I'm going up here, right? He needed me to understand exactly how successful I have been at practicing positivity, at being a better version of myself every day, and constantly doing the work, and unlearning things that I learned as a child, or I believed as a child, that does not serve me where he's taking me, right? And currently in this transitional phase, with the shift, what that means is everything around me is changing. And when I say everything around me is changing. It is literally everything around me is absolutely changing. Like what my reality was just 3 weeks ago is not the same. It's not the same at all. The only thing that is consistent is I'm me, my son is my son, we still, our house, my car, like things like that are the same, but everything as to how I maintain that and keeping it going is literally changing. So, of course, I would say a lot of people don't like change because when it comes to change, everything that you once knew it as is not the same anymore. So, it makes you uncomfortable. Me personally, I've always been a person that invites change, but at the same time, my old self, I always loved the security of my safety net as well. But where I am today is I really welcome change. Like I allow it to happen, but in those moments of change, I would be lying if I said that in this time where I am, all the growth, all the evolving, all that, I would be lying if I say that I'm not still experiencing the human experience within this realm. You can have your spiritual journey, right? And where you have all your faith, all your trust in God, and you overstand that He gonna come through. Even when you don't even understand how He about to make a way, you just know that He's going to make a way. He's going to come through, and it's all going to start to make sense once you get into that space of Him making sure that you understand why He put you through whatever He put you through, because everything is a learning lesson, right? So in all of that, I'm still experiencing the human experience where I have distractions going on around me that are temptations trying to get me to, come off of this spiritual journey high that I'm on. Or I have people around me that it's easy for me to kind of revert back into, comfortable spaces that I used to be in, or just the everyday world, like day-to-day life, like this government, for instance, that just makes it so incredibly like frustrating to try to live a life where you with the blueprint of God and your spiritual guides and all of that, ancestors, all of that. We taking all of that into account. When you align with them, it don't matter what the man is doing over here. They cannot at all interrupt or dismantle what the alignment over here is creating. Now, it can be a distraction, and it can help you delay what the hell is going on over here if you allow it. But I say all of that as far as the things, the distractions, and the people that just goes on and happens around you in day-to-day life within the human experience in this realm. It can be tricky. Currently, what I feel is I have all the faith, I have all the trust, and I know that God is coming through. And my intuition tells me every single day. But the human experience part of me is paranoid as fuck. But within my spirit, when I say I am so calm, I am at peace, I don't have any worries whatsoever. It's every day right now, since mid-September to now, every day has been a constant struggle of my inner self, my spirit, like rejecting what and pushing away what the human experience side of me is trying to project onto all of this goodness that I have created for myself within myself, right? So my question to y'all today is, have y'all been in a similar situation like this? And if you have, what are some things that you have done to combat that human experience with your spiritual experience? What are some things that you have done? I have myself and me doing the work every day. I have the confirmations from God every single day. When I say every single day, multiple times a day. But it's when they say the devil is working, that motherfucker be working, bitch. He really be motherfucking working. And the bitch, he keep trying to get in my motherfucking face. And I'm trying my hardest not to square up with this bitch, right? I'm trying to ignore all the distractions, all the negative people, this negative environment that we are just in. I'm trying to ignore all that shit and stay still and keep my eye on the prize. What God is telling me, what I know for a fact. But it be hard, bitch. Baby, even though it's very exciting, it is very fucking exciting. I can honestly say that I am very excited for the new beginnings and the new things to come and all the success that I'm about to reap. But people don't talk about that stage where you moving from one thing over to the next. There is definitely an interim, that gray area. And me personally, I'm the type of person where it's black and white with me, bitch. We ain't got no gray area. When it comes to people, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you. If I don't, I don't, bitch. I don't do that in the middle. We don't do that shit. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to y'all about today. If this message was any confirmation for you on whatever journey you are on right now, I'm glad that I could share and I can help you along. And for anybody that is not even necessarily on a journey, you just lost and you just feel like, okay, what the fuck am I doing? If this is a message for you to change some things and be more in tune with your spirituality, I'm glad I could help. Like this right here, me knowing that I can actually help somebody, it makes me happy. That really makes me happy to know that me just running my mouth can help a person or two, or maybe even 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, bitch. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to this week's episode and this week's temperature check. If ain't nobody told y'all today that they love y'all, just know that I love you. Until the next episode, relax, relate, and release into that gray area that can sometimes be hard within that transformational period. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Take a seat. Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hey.